Whenever
I
you're
clicked the
ready.
button, so now we're live. So you know,
I see it.
but
Like, well, oh,
before we start, I just want to let the people know this is Big Set Industry Cosign back. My friends are better than yours. If you don't recognize the face, you shouldn't be watching this. No, I shouldn't say that because there are some people that might be tuning in.
yeah,
That
they might be. Who the hell is that guy?
yeah, so I
Who,
can't say that
whose grandfather is that on the camera?
exactly. Well, I don't know if you're talking about me or you, but I'm gonna allow you to introduce yourself because every time people tell me I should introduce people, I always mess up. And I spoke to Keith Perrin from Fubu
Hmm.
last week, and I messed up. And I said, you know what? I'm going back to what I'll do. So introduce yourself.
Uh, I go by the name of DJ Evil Dee. I'm one half of the production team, the Beatminers. One third, the group member of Black Moon. Member of Boot Camp Click. I got a lot of jobs,
Yeah,
man.
you got it. Yeah. Well, you know
Got a
what?
lot of
We can.
jobs.
I'm pretty sure we'll dip and dab like in and out, and we'll just say things. But I just wanted people to know like who you were at just
Hmm.
for the top of the show and take it from there. But
There you go.
But the show basically has is two series. My friends are better than yours and Beyond 50. And the
Hmm.
reason why, of course, my friends are better than yours is obvious. Beyond
Hmm.
50 was what I started last year because everybody's going gung ho about the 50th anniversary of hip hop. And
Yeah,
my main thing was, what are you gonna do on the 51st year and beyond?
it's exactly what.
Nothing. So I'm
Yep.
like, you know what? We're here. We've been here before the 50th. We're going to be here
Hmm.
after the 50th. And it's not going to be we're going to celebrate every 5 or every 10 years. We celebrate
Yeah,
this culture called hip hop every single day. So
exactly.
I named it Beyond 50 because we're going to be here. And when the MTVs, all these other corporations decide on the 65th anniversary, we're still going to already be 50 more years deeper into it
Hmm.
where they're just celebrating because it's the right thing to do. But
Exactly.
but what I'm going to start off with, because I know we're going to go all over the place, because I've known you since you were like, actually, you know what? I'm so stupid because you and your brother, Mr. Walt. What's up, Mr. Walt? Um, I didn't realize until I don't really do research with my friends because they're my
Hmm.
friends, but I just realized that me and Mr. Walt were born the same year, and you and my younger brother were born the same year.
Oh, that's crazy.
So it was funny when I was looking, I was like, wait, 68, 71. I'm like, wow, it's like me and my brother.
Yo,
So, and it's funny,
crazy.
'cause like I said, knowing y'all for like 90 years, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
but I want to bring this up because, like I said, I don't want to overlook it because I literally just found out that y'all
Mhm.
just released a project. So
Yes.
why don't we talk about that first and then let it flow to wherever we go after that?
All right. The name of the project is Stifle Creativity. It's the under my production name, the Beatminers. It's a compilation album. Basically, we have a lot of people on this album. We have De La Soul. We have Pharaoh Monch. We have Keith Murray. We have Corey Glover of Living Color. We got General Steel. We got MOP. We got AZ. It's a lot of people on this album. Of course, we got Black Moon, Smith and Wesson. Um, and we what KRS One. We could name people all day, but
Yeah,
we there's an album that it took mad long to do because we kept stopping and going and stopping and going. And like when the pandemic hit, everybody was just stuck in their house
yeah,
going through hard drives, and I'm finding records like, yo, whoa, yo, this is ill. And finding beats that we made that we just made them, it was just there. So we just started hitting people up,
yeah.
and like, yo, we recorded a lot of the records was recorded like recent, but the Keith Murray record was done like 2008, I think. Like, it's an old record, but we had it in the drive and was like, yo, we need to put this out right now.
Yeah.
So that's what that whole album is. And it's been out since June 21st, I think it dropped, June 21st. And we've gotten the crazy dope responses on it. Like, everybody's bugging because like their favorite cut is the De La, Pharaoh Monch, Rashid Chappelle. and Corey Glover record. And everybody goes, "You got Corey Glover from Living Color on your album?"
Like I hadn't heard that
yo,
name since I haven't heard the name since the 90s.
Yo, nah, but he's dope. And that's a you know what I'm saying, Guy, Pharaoh Monch's manager Guy, he made that happen. You know what I'm saying? Because we had to clear a sample. And you know, they wanted mad money for us to clear the sample. And we was like, yo, we just gonna find somebody to sing it over. And he was like, yo, I got Corey Glover. Let me ask him if he'll do it. And he did it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, you know.
Actually, now since you mentioned Guy, like I told you before we started recording, like this is like my 5th time starting and restarting my podcast. But did a podcast maybe 6 years ago, 7 years ago. Mm-hmm. And Guy was one of the guests, and we had a great time because, you know, knowing Guy since like the 60s. Now let me stop. You know, but I do. The reason why, one of the reasons why I needed to start doing this again was because of people like you, Guy, Keith Perrin, like Special Ed, like people I've known for years that are still doing things. And I want people to see that even if you don't see anybody, that doesn't mean they're not doing anything, because particularly in hip hop, we get this thing where out of sight, out of mind.
Exactly.
And people would be so surprised because like you're doing parties like 90 days a week.
Yo.
You still have Beatminers Radio. Obviously, you just recorded an album. So it's just a matter of like just making people realize that some of the people that you always liked are still doing things. And what I'm also happy about, the fact that y'all just released the album. MC Light is dropping like this week.
Yeah.
LL just dropped. Common and Pete just dropped.
Yeah.
Smith and Wesson just dropped. I mean, no, I'm sorry, because I spoke to them a couple weeks ago. They're about to drop. They're about to drop. So it's like, you know, seeing the people that I came up with in this industry like 2 years ago, still doing things. And when people are talking about, well, we need this artist or we need these artists, and not realizing that they're still around. And if you particularly like these artists, sometimes a Google search can, you know, bring a lot. And like I said, and even me knowing you, like I said, I've known you, you know, since you were bald-headed. And then I find out recently that, you know, y'all just did an album. So that's why I was like, you know, try to keep up with people. And I think people that have friends or are in the industry for quite a while realize that being friends doesn't mean that you are always up on what's going on.
Yeah.
Because you're either still doing what you do, or people are just busy with their lives. When I spoke to Drez earlier this year, I spoke to him on some let's do this. And he's like, okay. Then he's like, yeah, I got a documentary. I was like, huh?
Yeah.
Like, so it's like, I don't know if he thought that I was contacting him for the documentary. I just didn't know. I just contacted him because he's one of the people I want to talk to.
Yeah.
So just like with you, I'm glad that I can get on the phone and be like, hey, let's do this. And we do it.
One of the things, I was going to tell you this before, but one of the things that that happens is, back in the days, remember, you'd be up on things easier.
Yeah.
What it is being able to have social media now, you're getting flooded with so much things that it's like, yo, you hear something and you may hear it, but not hear it.
Yep.
And that's one of the things that happens with me. Like, I'll look at my social media and go, oh, such got an album dropping. And then, this one's doing this. Oh, this one's doing that.
Yeah.
And forget about that album's dropping.
Exactly.
We have so much information coming at us right now. That's why a lot of things just get, you know, washed out, you know, thrown away. And it's like, one thing that I learned that I started doing was, like, even with social media, I log on, check everything I gotta check, post what I gotta post, put my phone down, and spend the rest of the day being creative.
Yep.
You know, and because social media will engulf you.
Yeah, definitely.
And one thing I tell people with me, when I'm on social media, when I'm on it, I'm either traveling, or I'm just it's just a day where there's nothing going
You're
on.
bored, or there's nothing going on. Yeah, I
Yeah,
get that.
because it's like like doing lives. Like I do lives every once in a blue moon, and
Yeah.
usually what I do when I do a live, it's usually a Q&A. Like I never did a live where I go, hey, I'm just here just to talk about this and that. I get on and I go, yo, ask me questions and I'll answer them.
Yeah.
And and it's funny.
It's a good
Questions
way.
that I
It's a
get.
good way. Yeah, it's a good way to pass time too, because
Yeah.
Because
what will happen with that is a 5-minute thing will turn into an hour and a half.
that is true. And then you'll lose yourself, not in a
Yeah.
bad way, but you just lose yourself sometimes. And it's like, oh, okay, it is what it is. But so let me ask, since y'all just dropped the album, and I know that everything was done, like you said, from like older tracks or newer. How is the mindset? Because you've been in the industry for about 3 months.
Yeah,
So,
man. Brand new artist.
How does the mindset go from being brand spanking new to now where it's like knowing the back of your hand? You're like, how does the process when it comes to creativity and procedure?
Well, back in my days, like back in the days, everything was analog, so it took longer.
Yeah, definitely.
You had to go to the studio. It took like 20, 30 minutes to set up the room and all types of stuff. Now everything's digital.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm doing things on my laptop. Like I'll sit down and just create the beat or whatever. And I still use my old equipment too. Let's not get it twisted.
Yeah.
I still use my MPC. My SP 1200 and my Kai 950. I use my MPC Renaissance. I use Ableton now, also, and I still use a whole gang of records. I'm still the sample evangelist. And it's like that part making the beat. It's like now it's like instead of sampling it into the sampler, sometimes I just sample it into Ableton, and it's more of a visual thing with Ableton. But I like the way old stuff sounds.
Yeah.
So that's why I'll use the SP and I'll use the 950. And it's like the creative thing is the same, but it's different because now it's easier.
Yeah.
It's not taking me 50 days to chop up one sample so that it works perfect. It takes me about 10 minutes now.
Yeah.
And as of recording wise, you're emailing people back and forth.
Yeah.
And I like it, but I don't like it. Like when I do an album with my family with Boot Camp, we're in the room.
Yeah.
We're all together recording and doing what we do. But like with other people, you email and stuff back and forth, And I like that, but I don't like it because I'm more of a producer where I want to be there to coach you on, I want it done like this and that. So that's the only thing that I tell that's missing from sessions today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's just crazy that because I used to produce as well, maybe not as much as you have, but I couldn't imagine 20 years ago that like people would email, sections of the song and things of that nature where no one has to leave a house. And not only that, it could actually be on the radio later that day.
Yeah.
Like we come from an era where like when I was doing tracks, like you had to buy the reel.
Exactly.
You had to go to the studio.
Yeah.
Splice and all of that. Like I said, it's like those are the days I come from. So to just know that I can literally like stay in my house for 20 months, not even leave my room, and have several albums, hit records without leaving my room is like kind of crazy. But technology does that because our parents and grandparents had to walk to every destination where we get to drive and do things of that nature. So I get it, but I just can't imagine like, I want to do this song with Evil Dee. He's in Brooklyn, I'm in Jersey. Well, we got to figure out. No, just send him to do the thing, and then just here's my email, and and then next thing you know, I'm like, oh, okay. It's like
it's bananas to me. Like, one thing that I started doing with people is actually doing, like, now you can do sessions like via FaceTime.
okay.
So that's like something new that I started doing with different people. That's not like if I'm working with somebody overseas. Like if I'm working with somebody that's local, or even if I have enough time, I'll fly out to the session. I don't care
Yeah.
because my studio fits in my bag now.
That makes
So
that's that's another thing too.
I
Yeah.
can go to us. I can like me now. I'm the dude that'll go. Oh, word, you want to record? Where you at? Yo, I'll be there in like 30 minutes. Jumping up, pack my bag, jump in an Uber, and you see me walking up to your spot with a mic stand in my hand and my backpack.
Like, let's go.
Yeah, because it's funny. Like when we did the last Black Moon album in 2019, the Rise of the Moon album. That's the first album that I actually started really using technology to where it's supposed to be used. Because what happened with that album was, of course, me, Buck Five, we came together. Me, Buck Five, Walt, we all got together and started working on the album. And it was certain things, like I was like, yo, I need him to say this word like this. I need him to say this. Like I needed Buck to touch some things up. So what I would do is we'd be somewhere and I'd be like, yo, I'll break out my iPhone. Yo, Buck, just say da 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 da. And he'll say it. I'll go home or go into my computer if I have the session with me and fix what I needed to fix. Like we recorded some of that album on my iPhone, which is crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
I think that's another reason why a lot of current artists don't appreciate the art form in the way that we appreciated it, because we knew what went into it as opposed to just anybody being able to, and in such a quick. I mean, I remember being in the studios, not for me particularly, but like artists like you and other people, where an all-night session for like to do half a song,
exactly,
to come back the next day to start over, and like literally these like, and I've spoken to younger artists, and I'm like, I appreciate your craft and what you do, but the that's the reason why. This is the reason why, in my opinion, like they don't feel as, they feel more entitled because they were able to do something, and some of the arguments like, we could do something in a day that it took y'all a month to do. I'm like, yeah, but the thing is, that thing that was taken care of in a month, you'll hear 20, 40 years later and still bob your heads to it. What you're creating now, you might have it for a summer if you're that lucky, and after that, nobody cares anymore. So it's like, I don't like when people cheapen what older artists have done.
Yeah.
But how many songs that's going to come out this year that people are going to really listen to in 20 years?
True. One of the things.
20 months.
How about 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Like one of the things that I tell people with music, like the values changed, and what it is it went from me creating an album saying, yo, I want to create something that people will love.
Yeah.
To an artist nowadays saying, yo, I'm gonna create because I'm hot and me. What happened was it changed from us to me. Like music became selfish. And another thing is with technology, what happened was when you spend time with something, you cherish it more. Like us sitting in the studio for half a year to create an album, you know what I'm saying, or a year, whatever time it takes. Like that album became a part of us.
Yeah.
That album, like, I always tell people, like, whenever it's an anniversary for one of my albums, I'll write happy birthday, Enter the Stage. It's your 30th birthday, you're a grown man now. Because that's my child.
Exactly.
All that music I'm creating, those are my kids. And it's like, people like music nowadays, like it's microwave. Like you just
Definitely.
throw it out there. You know, and even how I do music now, even though I use all the technology and all that, I still take my time. One of the reasons I own my own studio is because I don't want no time restraints. I want to be able to create in the time I create. If I want to take an hour doing scratches, so what? When you hear that, you're gonna go, yo, this is ill. Like a lot of the younger artists I've worked with, they just come in the studio, lay down their stuff, and go, yo, I'm out. You take care of the rest of that. And even with production nowadays, like, yo, I'm the type of dude, I want to mix my records. I don't want I don't want your engineer to mix it. I don't want you to mix it. No, you send me back the vocals, send me the session, and I'm gonna mix the record. Yeah. Like I'm old school like that. And a lot of people don't like that because they're not in control or whatever. Nah, but that's how I gotta be. Like we gotta make everything sound right.
This is what I've told people over the years that people don't understand when it comes to music and production. I tell people that producers are the directors of the film, and people don't. And it's like an actor can be the best actor, but if they don't come across in a way that it's supposed to, the director is the one that either brings it to life or makes it that much better.
Exactly.
That's the same role as a producer, but people don't understand that.
Yeah,
people don't understand how. It's just like if everybody played their role. Now, of course, there's some people who aren't as great. I mean, can you imagine if Dr. Dre allowed someone else to do his mixes and things of that nature when he did 2001, when all of those sounds and things that he wanted? I don't know, like we wouldn't have gotten the sounds that we've gotten. And people don't understand the difference between the track and the sound.
Exactly.
And like I said, because I used to produce, I get it. I understand. And once I got into wanting to produce, that's when I was like, this is different.
Yeah.
This is something and I was like, this is something that I would rather do. I mean, I wasn't rapping anything, but I was singing at the time. But I also grew up in hip hop.
Yeah.
So like, and if I had kept, the only reason why I stopped producing was because I actually did. I don't know if you noticed, but I did the title track for Tracy Lee's first album, Many Faces.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, and I did a couple other tracks for a couple other people. But the thing is, so many people were trying to get their hands in my pocket without me even having a successful record first. So I frowned upon it right away. Where I'm like, can I make a hit first and then you come after me like a vulture? I'm like, and the thing is, because the advantage I had at the time was I knew everyone, so people figured that I could get to people, and it didn't have to be. And it didn't have to be the fact that it's a good track, but I can get to people. So they're trying to get in early, so that way they can be in. But it discouraged me so much and that's one of the few regrets I have that I didn't continue. And of course, I know I can still do it, but I don't have that passion that I did before. As a matter of fact, I have an MPC 60,
nice,
an MPC 2000,
nice.
I still have I still got my mixing board. I still got like equipment from back then. Now, the only reason why I've held on to, well, the MPC 60 specifically was because that was the first one of a class. So I know that's going to be worth more than anything I will ever buy. I know that. I already know that. It still works. Well, I haven't plugged it up, but I'm pretty. I mean,
it probably still works.
Exactly. So, but as I stated, so I veered away from it, and I was doing other things. I was doing parties, celebrity games, so I had other things that I could do. But just the fact that I knew that there's people looking over me, like trying to get something I haven't created yet, just discouraged me, and I missed the creative aspects of that. So that's why I always give props to people like you and anybody else that are still doing it, because I get it. I used to love being in the studio. People be like, even some girls I was dating at the time, like, how can you stay in the studio? I'm like, you don't understand. It's like, this is like,
exactly.
At some points it's heaven. Sometimes it's like, you could be doing nothing and hearing certain sounds. And you're like, wow, I'm at home.
Yeah.
So, and same thing with people playing basketball. And I'm like, some of my friends growing up, basketball players, I'm like, you were just playing for 17 hours. Like, don't you want to rest? Nah.
Exactly. That's like me with DJing. Like, I could DJ all day. Like,
Yeah.
and the funny thing is, which I tell people, like production, DJing is hand in hand.
Yeah.
Because as you're being a DJ, you're producing that mix. You're producing, when you cut up a record, you're producing that version, your interpretation of that record.
Yeah.
And, you know, and my thing is, like, studio wise, I could live in the studio and I'm good with it. Like, studio's heaven. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love going to the studio.
I would still like, I could still see myself going into the studio now just to live in the essence of the creative process.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because it was always something I thoroughly enjoyed. I did parties for years and I hated being in the club sometimes.
Wow.
You know, so
Man.
I mean, it was good money. I was able to do it, and
Mm-hmm.
being a people person was what made me a good promoter.
Yeah.
But sometimes I just get tired, you know,
No, you're right.
and that's why even today people keep asking me, "Are you gonna do parties again?" I'm like, no. I'm like, even when I was in my little financial funk,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have the energy to. I mean, you got to be there. Like I said, it's funny because being at a party for 6 hours isn't really anything when you're in the studio for 15 hours.
Exactly.
When you're in a photography studio for 12 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So I like I said, it wasn't the time frame. It was just a matter of after a while, like, you know, I could drink but so many drinks and I can talk to but so many people. But that's my
Mm-hmm.
mindset because like I said, there are people that are still promoting that was promoting when I was promoting. I
Yeah.
give them props for still doing it, but I just can't do it. Not that I can't do it, I just don't want to. That doesn't mean that I won't. I'll do a
Mm-hmm.
party here, and I know I want to here and there, but I haven't
Yeah.
reached that point yet. But
Yeah.
even with doing this, I've been doing interviews for years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, writing. I'm not as much. I enjoy writing, but as many people have been telling me, you need to be on TV, you need to be on radio, you need to be doing this, and it's like maybe so, but if I don't have that passion to do it on a continual basis, it's
Yeah.
not going to work for me. It may work for everyone else,
Mm-hmm.
unless of course I'm getting a lot of money because then that changes things a little. But if,
Yeah.
you know, but if it's something that just to do and not be compensated. And when I say compensated, it doesn't necessarily mean financially. I can be
Mm-hmm.
compensated in other ways where it's fulfilling. It just wasn't. So I get it, but you know, I'm doing this again, and I feel like I'm back on this aspect because even
Yeah.
though when I did interviews, you can look at past interviews, you can hear past interviews. The focus was never about me, so I didn't like being on camera. I would
Mm-hmm.
do interviews. My colleagues would do interviews, and they had the mic. They're talking to the person. I'd be
Mm-hmm.
off camera, like talking, and you can hear my voice.
Yeah.
People are like, "Well, you know what? Why aren't you on camera?" I said, "Because it's not about me."
Exactly.
Even this, because some people tease me my look sometimes. You know, why
Mm-hmm.
is your hair like that? I'm like, because I don't care about my
Yeah.
look when it comes to certain things because
Mm-hmm.
I don't want you to tune in to see how I look. I want you to tune in to see what the discussion's about, to see, you
Exactly.
know, that type of thing. Because other people, I can be vain in some instances,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, I'm like 90 years old now. I don't care about that aspect of it. So, you know, let the let the younger generation do that because
Yeah.
I did it at one time. I went through that phase. It's like,
Mm-hmm. We all went through our different phases. Like, you know, like I tell everybody, like it's like,
I'll do an interview like this. I don't care, you know.
yeah. Like my whole thing is, which I tell people is, I like I don't care about like this whole fame thing or whatever. I never cared about it. I never cared about the yo, that's him. Nah, I just want you to hear my music
Yeah.
and respect the art. You know, like if I'm rocking a party, I don't need the spotlight on me. You're gonna know I'm DJing. Number one, I'm the loudest person in the house. You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
Without a mic.
yeah. And it's funny because it's like I just did soloing a horn.
Okay.
And so I'm cutting up bounce rock skate roll. And as soon as I start scratching, it's like everybody turns around and the camera phones, everybody's on me. Yo, I literally said, and it's funny because the videos, there's a couple of people recorded it and put it up. You hear me go, yo, chill.
Yeah.
Don't focus on me. just go dance.
Yep.
Like, cause that's the whole thing. Like, I tell people all the time, like, I like making people dance.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's whether I'm doing a record or whether I'm DJing. I like to make people dance. Like, that's my thing. And like that whole spotlight thing, I don't care about it. Cause fame, you could be famous and miserable.
A lot of famous people are miserable.
Yeah, like I know a lot of famous people that are
Like you say, yeah.
miserable. Like I talk to cats all the time, and they're like, "Yo, I don't know what to do," and this and that. I'm like, "Well, Duke, you like one of the illest dudes out here. It doesn't matter."
Yeah.
Like I'm like, "Yo, like fame is just, man. You want to be famous? You could do something stupid and be famous." You know what I'm saying?
Actually, that's the way these days.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like, people like, and that's the thing about it. Like, a lot of the younger artists want that fame. Like, they don't care about the art form or whatever.
Yeah.
They want that fame. And then the way the industry is now, it's not even about talent.
Mm-mm.
It's about fame. It's about viral. How much numbers you got on
Going
your
viral.
social media?
Going viral.
Yeah, and it's like, because if you notice, a lot of people that are getting signed are people that went viral. Some people that went viral that got signed have talent.
Yeah.
Like, and a lot of people may disagree with me, but I think Cardi B is talented.
Yeah.
She's smart. Like, she could do whatever and sound like however she wants. She's smart. And she markets and promotes herself, her brand, in a way that no matter what, it's her.
Yeah.
Like, she's smart when it comes to that. Like, I might not be a fan of her music, but the way she marketed and promoted herself and came out, boom. And then at the same time, as an MC, I can actually understand what she says. So I give her credit on that too. Like, she pronounces her words. Some people may look at me like, "What are you saying? That's sacrilegious." But nah, truth is truth. It's like even with Nicki Minaj. I'm not a fan of her records. I'm not a fan of her music. But she can actually rhyme, and she knew how to market and promote herself. You know what I'm saying?
They studied the ones before them and
Yeah.
knew how to utilize what's out there in order to get to the level where they're up to where they are now. And
Yeah.
you definitely got to. And that's the thing. I think I love that it's good that the younger generation are about their business.
Yeah.
And some of them actually are doing the business before they, perfect their talent.
Exactly.
And I guess in today's age, that's cool. But if you're doing this for like to get checks when you're in your 70s, 80s, and your grandchildren get checks, then changing has to the thinking has to change because you have a lot of artists that were hot 5 years ago that can't even buy a ticket to a movie these days, let alone be in one. And I think that people miss the point of, I hate when people are like, well, why is LL still making albums, or why this? It's like,
Because he wants to.
He can.
Yeah.
Two, he's created a legacy where you're still listening to something that was made before you were born.
Exactly.
If you can't do that, you shouldn't be performing. You shouldn't be doing records. If you're doing this just to make money, you've served your purpose. But if you're doing it to have an actual career, then you have to take notes from the people before you because it just makes sense. And it's funny because the whole big thing about, especially after the pandemic, where most of the artists that are selling out stadiums are older artists, and the newer artists can't even book an auditorium. That says a lot. We're in the age where we can stream. You can get 1 million streams in 4 minutes, but you can't get 4 people to come out to your concert.
Yeah, and see, here's my thing. A lot of, like, back in the days, we could, but it took way more to cheat the system.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It took way more money. It took, like, you had to
way more
release
time.
Crazy product, and a lot of things fell to the wayside. Nowadays, it takes a click for you to go viral. You can hire a streaming farm and go viral. But at the end of the day, the numbers won't add. And that's what's happening with a lot of these artists nowadays. Like the numbers don't add. Yo, a old school group like Black Moon still sells out shows.
Exactly.
And we're the underground dudes. We're the dirty backpack dudes. We're not even supposed to be here right now. We're supposed to be gone and stinking and no one remember us. But being that we did what we did the right way,
Yep.
and we created a legacy, that's why we're still relevant. And it's bananas to me that Black Moon can sell out a show and a new artist who streamed almost 1 billion streams can't even get arrested. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and
that's bananas.
And it's funny because like they want the numbers, but they don't want the anything else. And it's like, yeah, but I'm doing these numbers.
Yeah.
Okay, well, get on stage and let's see what you can do.
Exactly.
Get
like,
in front
yo,
of
I just did this summer, I DJ'd and brought out Buckshot at Lincoln Center.
That's big.
And I tell cats, I'm like, yo, y'all don't understand. Like, that's Lincoln Center. Like, yo, and then that's the second time they had me there. Because I rocked it last year. And my thing is like, yo, I'm like, and and it's funny because like now what I do is, it's not even a money thing to me. What my thing is now is goals. Like, I'll go, yo, I want to rock at the Beacon. Next thing I know, yo, we having this thing at the Beacon. Can you DJ? Like, yo, it's goals now. I remember looking at Lincoln Center back when I was in high school going, yo, how crazy would it be to throw a jam at Lincoln Center?
That would be definitely a good thing.
And it's like now I DJ'd at Lincoln Center and it was bananas. You know, and the people, and then it's like the general people at Lincoln Center is like, hey, Evil Dee, hey. And I'm just like, wow, yo, B, this is crazy. Yep. Like, my thing is, like, I've flown around the world and DJ. Like, because that's the DJ's dream. A DJ's dream is to be on the radio and to rock parties, rock concerts. And, like, I would, you know, I did Hot 97 when Hot 97 was the Hot 97.
Yeah.
You know, like when it was the official home of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was there for that and walked away on my own, which was crazy. Everybody thought I was a madman for doing that, but I didn't want to be somewhere where I wasn't wanted. And
I know that feeling well.
Yeah. And it's like, and then to like, yo, like I'm on tour like an artist. You know, I'm on tour. Like, it's like, okay, yo, what we doing this weekend? Are we doing Cleveland? Okay. Are we doing this? Okay. We doing this? Okay. Like, to me, that's bananas because that's a DJ's dream. Like, even with the Black Moon thing, I didn't want to be in. I was like, okay, the DJ, I'm just going to DJ. And Buck's like, no, you made the beats, me. Like, you're part of it. I'm not doing this without you. Because I was on some, yo, Buck, you got a deal. He was like, no, we got a deal.
That's good.
And, you know, I was like, okay. And then when we started doing stuff, I was like, you know what? I'm looking at all these DJs and these groups, and they're just standing there behind the turntables posing. Nah, I got to let people know that I can actually DJ. I got to do my share. And that's the whole thing. It's like, I make it a point where when I'm not around, and I'm supposed to be there, you notice it.
Yeah.
Yo, I didn't hear no scratch. Where's he at? And that's my thing as an artist. Like, yo, you got to make sure you leave your mark. When you're not around, people go, yo, what? You know.
And that's the funny thing, because even with what I've noticed about recording artists and celebrities these days, like, I remember coming up where you didn't see anybody. Everyone was so elusive. Everyone was so, like, you had to be the creme de la, or you have to be like, you just have to know the right people. But nowadays it's like everybody be everywhere, and it's like I walk down the street and be like, oh, that's so and so, and just keep walking. Like
Yeah.
back then, it'd be like, yo, that's Nas. Yo, Nas was on 125th Street. Yo, this is that. And I was just like, nowadays it's like, oh, what they do nowadays, they'll announce, oh yeah, I'm on this corner, so that way people can come rushing and.
Mm-hmm. That's what social media is for.
Yeah.
Like I remember back in the days, you went to the Village because in the Village was a lot of the rec companies was located in the Village. All the artists hung out in the Village.
Yeah.
You walking around the Village, like I'm walking around the Village, I'm seeing Tribe. Then I'm seeing Q-Tip and
Q-Tip. Yeah, I used to see Q-Tip in the Village all the time.
I used to always see Leaders of the New School. You know what I'm saying? And I would see, like, you'd see everybody. I remember seeing Russell Simmons. This is the funniest thing. I was on a date and I was at a diner, and this guy was up at the counter ordering his food, and I looked over and I said, "Yo, damn, he don't look like he has it too much. I'm gonna go pay for his food." And I walk up to the counter to go be like, "Yo, my man, like I got you on this." And then when I got closer, I realized it was Russell Simmons.
He's like, "No, I got you."
Yeah, because Russell Simmons, he used to always dress like a bum.
Yeah.
So that's just because, and it's funny because it took me being in the industry, like going to the studio back and forth. You're not gonna dress to impress to go to the studio all the time. And even nowadays, like I dress like whatever. Like I just put on my t-shirt, my jeans, and my boots or my sneakers, and that's it. Yeah. And it's like when I seen Russell that day, I was like, "Oh, that's Russell Simmons." Y'all have played myself. And it's that's like, funny. Yo. And at the time, he was worth $30 million. You know what I'm saying?
That was the poor Russell Simmons.
Yeah, that was the poor Russell. No, it's only $30 million. It's nothing.
Only $30 million. Yeah.
Yeah, but the funniest thing is when Who Got the Props came out, I'm standing in front of Tower Records trying to talk to this girl, and she's just like, "Yeah, whatever, Duke. Yeah."
Tower Records. Wow.
Yeah, Tower Records in the Village. So I'm talking to homegirl, and she's like, "Whatever." Like I'm actually around the corner, so I'm talking to homegirl, and this Bentley pulls up. Driver gets out, opens up the door. Russell Simmons walks out. I didn't know at the time his penthouse was on top of the joint. So he looks at me. He goes, "Hey, Evil Dee, what's up? Here's my card. I need you need to come down to Def Jam. We need to talk." And the girl looks at me like, "Oh, what?" I was like, just walked away.
Let me see you do that. No.
Like that, like to me, but that little things like that show me that I was doing the right thing.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like getting recognized by your peers and people above, like yo, that to me, was the joint. And I always said to myself too, with this music thing, it's a job. Yeah. Never let it become you, and stay humble. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of people didn't get that lesson.
Nah, I'm humble. Like I treat people how they treat me. Yeah. If you come up to me and go, "Yo, what's up?" I'm like, "Yo, what's up?" If you come to me and go, "Yo, what's poppin'?" Yeah. I'm a mirror. I can't say the word mirror. Yeah.
I'm the same way at times. I guess. At times.
Yeah.
You actually there was something you had said that damn. I usually write it down when you say something I can go back to, and now I just lost it because I didn't write it down. But I coincidentally, when you brought up the backpack aspect of it, because I don't know if you I wrote in a little bio for the show that like y'all were like the connoisseurs of backpack, because back then, there was no stuff. We didn't call people backpack until like Who Got the Props, and y'all run into the video with the backpacks, and all of a sudden a week later everybody's a backpack rapper.
I tell people like this: Grand Puba had his knapsack.
Yeah.
And we had our backpacks on because we was boosting. Buckshot and Five was boosting clothes.
Makes sense.
I was boosting records.
Makes sense.
And that was our boot. Like we would go into the web. Like I'll go into a record store, pick up 2 copies of a record and go, "Yo, this is the shit," and drop one in my bag and put it back on the shelf. Like, you know, we was boosting. That's what our backpacks was for. And then Timberlands was our thing because we was poor. And Timberlands, yo, like they don't wear down like regular shoes. So we wore Timberlands because it was like, yo, you know, it was cheap at the time, not like now,
Yeah.
but it was cheap at the time. And we was broke. And we needed our gear to look fresh. And Timberlands lasted a long time.
I don't remember if I knew that back then. That's the reason why. Because a lot of Brooklyn kids wore backpacks back then.
That's
and
why.
The reputation was always, Brooklyn steals everything. And I'm from the Bronx, so I didn't like Brooklyn just because yo Brooklyn. But
same
like
thing with Brooklyn and the Bronx.
Yeah, exactly. So and because of that, most of the girls that I dated was from Brooklyn, and I hated that.
Yo, you know what's funny? A lot of the girls I dated was from the Bronx. And I hated going to the Bronx. But I used to go to the Bronx to buy sneakers, though. Like, back in the days, I was a sneakers collector. Not now, because now it's too crazy.
Yeah.
But back in the days, I used to go, because in the Bronx, y'all had different sneakers.
Human,
Harlem had different sneakers.
Yeah.
Like,
Everybody
I went, and then the mission was making it home with the sneakers.
Yeah, because back then it was definitely crazy.
Yeah, and being I had my backpack, I would just throw my sneakers in my backpack and jet off to where I got to jet off to. Throw my Walkman on, Throw my Walkman on and jet off to where I had to go.
Sometimes you got to put that Walkman on, even if it's not on, so that way you can act like you don't hear when they say, yo.
Oh, of course. Like, me back then, I was skinny and I was a runner. Like, you not catching me.
We had to be runners back then.
Yeah, Walt, like one thing with Walt, made sure I wasn't a sucker. Like, he taught me how to fight and beat people up and all that. Cause Walt was beating people up.
Yeah.
And that was Walt's thing. Walt and his crew was terror. But like with me, I was the one-man band. But I went everywhere. I went everywhere to buy records and sneakers.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And I would, at 15, I'm running around the Bronx looking for, I seen a Nike. I seen a picture in a magazine of the Nikes and they had this on it. And I think the only place I could get is from the Bronx. So let me go to the Bronx to see what flavors they got. And come back to Brooklyn, they be like, yo, where'd you get those from? I can't tell you. But they fresh, though. They fresh to death.
Definitely back then, like, you go to particular places to get particular things because like today you can get it from anywhere, you can get it online, but back then, you had to take that chance if you knew I gotta go to Delancey Street. Like, Delancey Street?
Delancey Street was like Delancey Street was crazy.
That was a haven for Brooklyn thieves. It was a haven for Brooklyn thieves.
Yo, the funniest thing about Delancey is I remember one time I went to go buy a lumberjack coat. Right? I went and got the coat. I look and I see these dudes because the train station is like right down the block. I see these dudes just standing in front of the train station. And I'm like, oh man, it's mad dudes there. As I get closer, I realize it's my peoples from around my way. I'm like, yo!
And knowing them, they still tried to rob you, right? No.
Nah. Like, it's funny because cats were scared of Walt. So I always had that in my back pocket. Yeah.
Walt was like that. I'm gonna tell you, it's funny because I mean, when I met y'all, of course, that was a little years later. Walt just seems like the guy that was just to himself.
Yeah, but you know what it is? This is what I tell everybody: the illest dudes, that did all the stuff. Those are the nicest dudes you could ever meet now.
The quiet ones. And
I always tell people, I'll be like, yo, man, like, it's a balance. Because back then you didn't have, so you went to go get. Now that you have, you're pleasant, you're cool, you're the nicest person ever. Yeah. And I tell people, I'll be like, yo, like a lot of the real dudes don't talk about what they used to do. Nope. Because you're not supposed to. Like when Enter the Stage was made, Buck was rhyming about his brothers. What his brothers was doing in the streets. And I would tell him little things also about what Walt would do. And that's what Enter the Stage is. That's those tales. He just inserted himself in certain parts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because Buck was, you know, he was doing his dirt, but he wasn't doing his dirt like Enter the Stage dirt. I wasn't neither. Let's be realistic. I was coming home and doing music. Once I got into music, all the crazy stuff was thrown, because it was like, my thing was, I said to myself, if I concentrate on this one thing, I'm going to be so dope at it, and I'm going to be so focused that I'm going to get my record deal. I'm going to be that DJ that's running around DJing everywhere, and that was my focus.
But I'm gonna tell you what's funny, because you know, tagging on to what you just stated, coming up, like a lot of people didn't believe the stories of a lot of rappers, because the mindset was, if you're doing all that in the streets, you don't have any time to be in the studio or writing rhymes and things of that nature. And I know, you know, of course, I came up with some rappers as well. I know some of the rappers, the tales they've told, even though they never took credit for actually doing it, it was for them was more storytelling. But we knew that they were either watching or getting it elsewhere.
Yeah.
It's funny that you state that, because I think that's another reason why a lot of rappers back then used to get tested.
Oh yeah, of course. Like,
particularly out of New York. A lot of New York rappers got tested.
Man, let me tell you something. The first Black Moon tour was a fight down the East Coast. Because it's like, as we was going down the East Coast, there's always somebody that has something to say. And then they realized, you know, because when you go to somebody's town, the New York dude's getting all the attention, especially if you're a rap dude or whatever. And that local dude in that town, that's the big dude, and he's not getting his shine, he's tight.
Yep.
And he will have something to say. And either you know how to deal with it, or you know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, and the one thing that we would try to come, hey man, let's have a drink with us. You know, hey, if that didn't work, we're gonna whoop you out, and then we leave in town.
Yeah. Because you can.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, we definitely got tested, and we definitely passed the test. Like, we never had a moment of, oh man, we taking this L. We didn't take L's, which was great, because we could have.
Yeah.
We escaped without taking an L. Now everybody takes an L. We took an L. We got booed. The only time Black Moon ever got booed, we got booed in Boston. We went to Boston. We was going to do this show. 5FT didn't show up. So we drove to Boston without 5. And we got on stage. I forgot who we was performing with. But whoever we was performing with, they kind of sabotaged us. They took the plug out the DJ set. So I'm queuing up in the headphones. Buckshot said, "Yo, what up? My name is Buckshot. You know what I'm saying? I'm from my group Black Moon. Yo, E, drop that." Blank. And I'm like, and I realized the plug ain't in. They bring the plug. So I dropped the joint. And I guess that set off the energy of us going down. Buckshot started rhyming. Cats was like, "Woo! Get out of here!" And yo, the final straw was they started throwing stuff, and either a beer or a soda or whatever just said, "Blah!" right on the mixer. I said, "Okay, show's over."
Wow.
And I got on that mic. I said, "Yo, my name is DJ Evil Dee. And I promise you, when we come back, y'all ain't never gonna treat us like this." And we went back out there after Enter the Stage dropped, and it was, but you know, we took that, we learned from that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now here's another funny story, and I've told this story before, and I'm gonna tell it again to you. So when Black Moon, we did our first performance after we got signed at the spot called the Muse.
At the parties, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the Muse, I think it was on Tuesdays, was the party kicker. It was Kid Capri, Kid Capri was DJing. He was on tour, so
Yeah.
Jazzy Joyce was holding him down. And so we go out. We're performing that night. Look in the crowd, mad people in the industry is there. At the same time, Brooklyn is in the house, wilding out. You know how hip hop was back in the 90s. Brooklyn's wilding. Everybody, the Bronx is in there, Queens, but Brooklyn is wilding. So,
it could be two Brooklyn guys in there, and Brooklyn is wilding.
Yeah. So this dude opens up for us. He gets on, him and his mans gets on the mic, and they're rhyming off a toilet stool rap by Biz, God rest his dead.
Oh, okay.
And they're rhyming off a toilet stool rap, and the crowd boos them. And yo, I turned to him and his mans and say, yo, check this out. Yo, Das Effects got booed before. I say, yo, don't let that affect you. I said, cause yo, you might become the biggest rapper ever. And people are no one's ever gonna remember this. Yeah. I was like, don't let this discourage you. And we went out there and performed our shit and got, it popped off. So I'm like, years down the line, I'm opening up for me and Black Moon's opening up for the Big Mac tour. The Biggie, Craig Mack tour, God rest their both. Yeah. And I met Biggie downtown Brooklyn before that. I was talking to a girl, and I was riffing back and forth with I think it was Junior Mafia at the time or whoever they was messing because I was away at the bus stop and they was like, yo, you're not from around here. And Biggie was like, yo, chill, y'all making it hot on this Ave. And he was like, yo, my man, yo, da-da-da, going, and I would see him from time to time, be like, yo, what up, E? I'm like, what up, Big? And what ended up happening was, so we're opening up for this tour, and, so Biggie goes, yo, E, let me talk to you for a minute. I'm like, what's up? He's like, yo, I'll tell you something, and you're going to laugh. I'm like, what's up? So he said, remember that, I heard that, you got it? So I said, okay, so he said, yo, remember when y'all did y'all show at the Muse? I was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, you remember the two guys around the toilet stool rap? Yeah, he said, that was me and my mans.
Wow.
How ill is that? And I'm telling Biggie before, yo, you may become the #1 rapper for all we know. And look what happens.
Your advice kept them in.
Yeah, I wish. But that was just a funny thing because to know it was him, and then for him to tell me, yo, that was me, by the way. That was crazy. But it's like the same thing happened. With us. Like we didn't get booed in New York, which is crazy. We got booed elsewhere. But when we was coming up in the game, artists was giving us like, yo, I think you should do this. I think you should. We'll bump into cats and they'd be like, yo, you need to do this. You need to do that. And we took that in. You know what I'm saying? Like, Latifah didn't know me from nowhere, but she gave me advice. And I would speak to her from time to time, and she'd be like, oh, you need to da-da-da-da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Hank Shockley. You know what I'm saying? Hank and even Chuck D. Chuck D ain't know me from nothing. And I seen him a couple of times, and he was like, yo, da-da-da-da. And these are the people that I remember. And I'll tell you like this. The #1 group that I would never front on, and if they say, and you'll be like, you know what? You probably seen it, and once I say who it is, you're gonna be like, I kind of seen that. The #1 group I would never front on, and if they called me today and said, yo, we want to do an album, I would do the album for free. It's Kid and Play. And that's why I'm so respectful to Kid, Play, and Wiz. Because I was at a club. I'm not going to say the other rapper's name because me and him is mad cool. And I don't want nobody looking at him like, yo, you whack. But I was at Wetlands. And I seen supposed rapper. And I said, yo, we're doing a a talent show at my high school. Who's your booking agent so I could call them and see if I could get you to do an appearance? You know what I'm saying? And the dude just said, "Man, get out of here," and just walked away. And Kid and Play seen that and said, "Yo, that was kind of whack what he did," and let me hang out. They let me hang out with them in Wetlands.
That's good.
And I don't know if it was Kid or Play, or maybe it was even Mark. Well, maybe
Wiz.
maybe I said Mark. Maybe it was Wiz. Now I said Mark because my nephew Mark just texted me. Okay. Maybe it was Wiz. One of them gave me the Idol Makers card and said, "Yo, why don't you call our management and see, And I never forgot that. And I'm like, yo, if Kid and Play ever decide to do an album, I will produce that for free.
They just started a podcast.
I know. Like, yo, and it's dope because Wiz, like, becoming friends with Wiz, that was like, yo, wow, like this is crazy to me.
Yeah.
Because I said, this dude doesn't even know what he did. You know what I'm saying? And like Wiz is one of the nicest dudes ever.
Yeah, I think I've seen Wiz mad one time. We did M15 together. Me and him.
Yeah, I know. I used to be there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, and so funny that I mentioned Wiz in the earlier episode, and I told him I didn't care if he got mad that I mentioned that. Well, I'm not gonna say it again because, like I said, we're real friends. But Play was there as well, and like you said, just vibing with people that like you've met, and they were actual celebrities.
Yeah.
Back then, and now they're friends. And,
exactly.
And it's just because even when I met y'all were coming up, so I was already involved with Video Music Box, so I was already in the game.
Yeah.
Which was different than when Kid and Play, because I wasn't in the game yet when Kid and Play was out.
Yeah.
And then when I did the MC Light video, people thought Play was me.
Really?
Both same complexion, flat top.
You know what? Yeah.
At that time,
I'm thinking about it now. Like I'm picturing your image in the video.
Like right now, we don't even. Yeah, we've had conversations about that. I'm like, I don't see how people saw it, but back then, I would keep like, "Oh, I love you and Kid," and I'm like, I'm not Play. But we look nothing alike. But back then, we both were skinny.
Yeah.
My face was a little slimmer. The hair wasn't out here, but it was up here.
It was up, yeah.
I get it, and but like I said, just knowing like some of the people that I just Grandmaster D. I just had Grandmaster D the other day, and even Grandmaster D because Houdini was like the shit. Yeah. And then like 30 years later, like I could call Grandmaster D on the phone, like, "Yo, what's up?" I was doing celebrity basketball games, and me being I did the games. I actually put the game together. But I actually coached, and the reason why I started coaching the teams were the celebrities would run over who would coach. It doesn't matter who coached.
Yeah.
So I had to step in, and I'm on some old knowing most of them because some of them will just come because I used to do basketball games with Teddy Riley, Ralph McDaniels, whatever. They would just come up on some old I'm a celebrity. I didn't care. I still don't care. Yeah. So I had that like what I would do the beginning before the game starts. I would talk to all of them. I don't care how many records you sold. I don't care how many TV shows you're in. This is that. I said, you will respect me. This is that and the other.
That's right.
Some of them will look at me like, who the fuck does this kid think he is? But by the end of the game, they're looking at me like, yo, I got mad respect, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
So it's funny that even with like I said, I brought up Grandmaster D because like I said, he played in the games and like playing with Tyson Beckford and all these people who are like actual celebrities and they're actually listening to me. And I'm like, wow, this is kind of amazing. But there's one person that didn't listen to me, and I wanted to choke him. And the only reason why I didn't choke him was because it would have been nasty. Flavor Flav. We did a celebrity game, right? So everyone knew me. I took my game serious. The celebrities who couldn't play ball, I would let them in at the beginning of the game because I'm winning the game. I don't care who we playing against because some of the guys that played in Rucker was on my team as well. Yeah. So I'm like, yo, Flavor he got in the game. I'm like, okay, you're never getting back in. I didn't tell him that, but I'm looking at him like, nah. I get the entertainment value. We need that, but you can go in the stands and do all of that, you know.
Yeah.
And he was just like, come at me like every 5 minutes. Yo, put me back in. Put me back in. I'm like, I gotta let this play. I'm giving him every excuse. It got to a point where I forgot who it was. They had to separate me from him. I was really about to choke him. I'm looking at him like, yo, I don't give a fuck who you are, and this and that and other. And they was like, yo, Sad, come here. He said, come on, that's Flavor. He doesn't mean any harm. I said, yeah, but I'm trying to win the game.
Yeah.
My shit. I'm like, he goes on tour, he gets paid. This is my time to shine. Let me do my thing. I'm trying to win. I don't care, because after the game, girls are going to be after y'all. Y'all can get out. I'm trying to get the victory, you know.
Yo.
But it was just so funny because he, like, and after the game, like, somebody must have spoke to him. He's like, yo, my bad. I was just excited, this, that, and the other. And I said, nah, you know, I appreciate that, this, that, and the other. He probably wouldn't know who the hell I was if I see him today.
Believe it or not, he probably wouldn't know. Because his memory is like that.
But this has been like 20, 25 years.
Yo, I think he still would know. He might get thrown off from the hair.
It would be funny. It would be funny.
Yeah, like Flavor Flav. It's funny, like Flavor Flav. Remember back in the days he took over Hot 97 one day?
Yeah.
Here's the funny thing about that, right? Flavor Flav took over Hot 97. The whole thing was nobody up at Hot was supposed to work that day. So they made it into the Flavor Flav takeover. The only person on his list to work that day was me. Because he took it over on a Monday. And when I showed up at this, I was like, oh, I got a day off. That's cool. Nah, Flavor Flav said he wants you to come in and do your show. I was like, why me out of everybody? And the funny thing was, it was, like Flavor Flav, that's this type person he is. And then he knew Walt. And he was cool with my brother. So it was like, oh, that's Walt's little brother. Let him in. Flavor Flav. And then I always will see Flavor Flav from time to time. Yo, Evil Dee, what's up? Mad animated. And it's funny because I will see him, he's mad animated. And Chuck is like, yo, what's up, Evil Dee? Like, yo, it's but that's why they work so good together, though.
Yeah.
Flavor Flav is a firecracker about to explode.
He got on my nerve.
Yeah.
And there's only one other celebrity like that when I did my basketball games, and I know people are going to agree with me when I say this, but the biggest dumbass asshole that I've ever met in this industry, Brian McKnight.
Oh, Brian McKnight.
We had a game at City College. Coincidentally, the celebrity game a week before Puff's game. Now, I forgot there was like mad celebrities there. You know, I went through my whole spiel, and the reason why I got mad at him was a little girl. She could be no more than 6, 7. Came up to him. Everybody's signing autographs, asking for an autograph, and it's not that he said no; it's the way he said no.
Oh, you don't do that.
And I'm looking at him like, yo, this little girl is like, oh my God, can I get your autograph? He's like, no, I don't give autographs or something like that.
Oh.
It took everything from me not to deck him.
Yo.
Luckily, he has security. He was one of the few celebrities that had security.
Yo.
I found out why that day.
Yeah, that's why. You can't do that.
I was so disappointed. And then after that, I started hearing all the bad stories about him and people in general. Even to this day, kids hate him for what he's doing, things of that nature. I'm like, I believe every story, every bad story I hear about Brian McKnight because of that one instance. Because I'm like, if it was like a teenager or even an adult, still wrong, but they can handle that.
Nah.
A little 6, 7-year-old girl, that pissed me off because I'm like, yo, because it was my game.
Yeah.
You don't do that. I was like, you don't do that.
You can't diss the kids, yo. Number one,
not the kids.
And number two, you can't really diss a fan.
No.
I have my limits because some people will try to take it to an extreme.
Of course.
But if someone's asking for an autograph, yo, can you sign my record? Can you sign this? Yo, it takes 3 seconds, yo.
Yeah.
And I've done it. Like I'm on the road and Cats is like, hurry up. I'm like, yo, chill. Because it's like, yo, B, I'm 30 years in right now. I'm supposed to be out of here.
Yeah.
My 15 minutes been up a while ago. So to be still relevant and people still like, yo, can I take a picture, this and that? I'm just happy to be here. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, like I go outside, and this is my neighborhood where, you know, everybody knows me. Yeah. But, you know, Bushwick is now Bushwick. So the new people coming into Bushwick is like, Evil Dee, what are you doing here? I live in Bushwick, B.
Yeah, this is my home.
Like, this is where I'm at. Okay, I'm the only black person on my block now, but still, you know, at the end of the day, it's like, I'm home, but it's like people, yo, can I take a picture with you? The other day, I was sweeping in front of my house. I'm sweeping the yard. And these girls walked by and said, yo, my dad said that he used to listen to your tape. Why are you out here sweeping the yard? Don't you have somebody to do that? What? I said, nah. I said, yo, nah, this is my house. I got to clean my house. And it's like, you know, what I ended up doing with her was I was like, you got an iPhone? Your dad got an iPhone? I said, FaceTime. And I was like, yo, what up? And, yo, Evil Dee. Like, but that's the things you do. And and that little thing you do will make someone's day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Bet people, I mean, because I used to do the celebrity games and doing parties, the feedback I would get from people when their friends or somebody else met a celebrity because either I introduced them or they came to my event.
Yeah.
It always put a smile on my face because I'm like, yo, that's hot because, like you said, somebody called me, yo, Evil Dee, like signed an autograph for my son and he was happy. I'm like, and they thanking me. So I'm like, I feel good because I had nothing to do with that. But if you're going to give me credit, then, you know, fine.
Without knowing it, you made the connect by putting your
yeah. You know, so I get it on the aspect because, you know, like I said, there's a lot of assholes out there. And I'm going to say it again, Brian McKnight is one of them. And if he was to walk up to me today, I'd probably still punch him in the face because of that. And that happened about maybe 15, 20 years ago. I was still punch him in the face because I was still like, that's one of the only instances that sticks in my mind when it comes to bad experiences. And it's like money. I'm like, you can't be doing that.
Brian McKnight, like I've heard stories about him. I never met him though, but I've heard stories about him. And I'm like, yo, my man, like you can't treat people like that.
Not at all.
You can't treat people like that because that's like you just messing up your thing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And like now, like you look now, like you're not the star you used to be.
And that's why nobody goes to the shows. He can't sell a row of tickets for his shows now.
Wow.
You know?
Like I tell people, I'll be like, yo, man, be easy with that because that person you dissed today may be your boss tomorrow. Especially in this industry.
Yeah.
I remember it was a girl, we was doing 88 hip hop, and it was a girl that was interning there. And she was, you know, mad cool girl. This girl now is like a big music lawyer. And it's funny because the other dude that was interning there, now he's the big dude at Serato. Imagine if I was a dick. These two people, when I seen them and you know, while they doing their thing now, they'd be like, hey, what up, E? What you doing? Nothing?
Nothing at all.
Yo.
But it's good, like I said, when you see people that have been doing good and and you know, I mean my claim to fame was of course the MC Light video and to still hear people come back and tell me like, you know, it's just crazy. So I can imagine like some of the tales you have, or even some of the interactions you have with people, you know, going back, you know, the 3 years you've been in this industry.
Yeah, every DJ wants to see me hang upside down and scratch. I'm like, yo, I'm a big dude now. I can't do that now like I used to. That's not gonna happen. We're gonna have an accident. Have an ambulance on the side.
No. So what's going on now? Like I said, I know you got the album that was just released a couple months ago. Like I know you perform you DJ like I said 90 times a week. Like what's coming up now? Oh, you have the Beatminers radio. Just let everybody know what you're doing, like where they know that you're still active.
Okay. Well, of course, I'm still DJing everywhere. Got a bunch of events coming up. I post everything on my social media at DJ Evil Dee, and that's DJ EVILDEE. Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. Music, production wise, we're working on the Black Smith and Wesson album.
Yeah.
Which is Buckshot Smith and Wesson together. We're working on that right now. We're working on the next Beatminers album also.
That's a dope title, Black Smith and Wesson.
Yep. Black Smith and Wesson. We're working on a new Beatminers album. We got a couple of new artists that we're working with. And, other than that, Beatminers Radio, my lunchtime mix is on Fridays, 12 noon East Coast time. And that's on beatminersradio.com. And I'm also on Twitch on Wednesdays with Mr. Walt. And on Saturdays, I do this thing called the Saturday Night Dance Party, where I'm playing funk, soul, disco, and house. So, just having fun with it.
That's good. I actually had a conversation with someone the other day after I sent them a link to one of my recent podcasts. And he said something that a lot of people have always said to me. And like I said, I shy away from like focusing on me. But I actually had this segment that I had an idea years ago called Who is Big Said. Actually, if you look at my site,
I remember that.
Yeah. So I said, like, after he told me that, he's like, many people know that, you have connections with people, but nobody knows who you are. Or not that they don't know who you are, they don't know what you've done, or that you've been involved with so many things. So I said, what I'm going to start doing is during my conversations, I'm going to ask a question to whoever I speak to, and I'm going to ask you, who is Big Said?
Big Said is a dude that was cool until he rode the train and tried to dislike. Now, he, to put it all in one thing, Big Said is an all-around cool dude. You know what I'm saying? He's the dude that, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you see him in the spot, then that spot is hot.
Yeah.
And then he will try to diss you, and then you're gonna diss him back. And then now, all-around cool dude. Big Said, all-around cool dude.
I appreciate that. Yeah, like I definitely appreciate your time because I know you're probably gearing up to do some type of mix or do some track or whatever.
What am I doing right now? I'm about to finish up. I can't say who, but I'm working on some tracks for a rapper that everybody respects. Well, let's not say rapper. Let's say an MC that everybody respects.
Chris, okay, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I'm working on stuff with him too, but yeah.
I just say Chris because like when you say rapper or like he's never gonna say rapper, he's gonna say MC. So he's the first person that came to mind only because he labels himself an MC, also a rapper. So
now, you know what it is?
He does hip hop.
Yeah.
Not
people who I respect as an MC, I say MC. If you just rhyme, then you're a rapper. Yeah. A lot of the new kids are rappers.
And somebody's in that, but
But then you have some people like Kendrick Lamar, who's an MC.
Yeah.
So like there's always the different worlds. And there's always been the different worlds. It's just a lot of people never realized it.
And I think also different interpretations.
Yeah.
Depending on who you speak to.
Exactly.
So, but it is what it is. But I do appreciate that DJ Evil Dee, the Beatminers, Black Moon, Beatminers Radio. I just try to name. Wait, I have your logo in my thing, and I can't. Something. The name of the album. I was trying to think of the name of the album, but Stifle Conversation.
Stifle Creativity.
Creativity. Why I get conversation? Yeah. Stifle Creativity. Well, that's because my conversations were stifled.
It's all flavor.
If you need to contact or you want to know what anything going on with DJ Evil Dee, any and every social media, Just type in DJ Evil Dee,
Mhm.
DEE, and you'll
Yep.
get him. And I guess that's it. This is Big Said, Industry Cosign. My friends are better than yours. And another episode of Beyond 50, which for the people that came late, Beyond 50 is to celebrate beyond the 50th anniversary of hip hop because we're not going anywhere. So everything
That's
is
right.
beyond 50. And
Right.
as most of you already know, my friends are better than yours. But you're lucky if you're my friend. So then you can tell people that, in that order. But anyway, once again, thanks, Mr. Evil D.
Thank you,
People,
man.
until the next time, the Industry Code sign. Peace.